Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Gemini for May 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com. Check out my extensive blog that is intended to give you support through the current and upcoming transits to help you maximize the possibilities. If you'd love to be an astrologer or a coach or bring your business online, check out my vocational school, Shine Your Brilliance University at anniehelpsyou.com. So what's going on in the month of May? We've got birthdays for Geminis. We've got, for your early Gemini placements, we've got a sweet spot in between the eclipses that will be bringing lots of intensity in June, July, August, and September. We've got 2 eclipses in July, 1 in August, but we tend to have some busyness start, in the month before and go well into the month after. You could even see some notable eclipse news coming in at the end of May, and there's always a chance for ongoing eclipse stories to be taking place. It's just that when we get closer to the events, the odds are greater that there are notable trajectory changes and big news and things like that. So positioned here in May, we're kind of in the calm before the storm. The intensity is coming. We've just had intensity from the previous eclipses that are starting to calm down now. We're done with Mercury retrograde and the shadow period as of May 4th. We are starting Mars retrograde June 26th, and that shadow period starts May 11th. So we've got that happening, which can bring a decrease in ambitions, which makes it even more important to do as much as you can this month and as much as you're drawn to do this month, because it is the best month between now and the middle of December for launching, doing big things. So I'm calling the theme of the month for Gemini Into the Magic, and I'm basing this on a bunch of different things that I'm seeing in your chart. One of the things that I'm looking at is a predominance of energy above the horizon. When we're focused on energy above the horizon, it's your place out in the world, in relationships, in the international arena, in studying, in religion, in your work and career, and in teams and groups, and then also that quiet space of the all that is. So it's this top half of the chart that is being accentuated for you most at this time. So that brings things away from the mundane focus and more out into the world and out into the magic. So there's a lot of energy before, so we get back to birthdays. Before your birthday, or if you're watching for your rising sign, before the sun crosses over your ascendant, it moves through the 12th house. So the weeks before your birthday or before the sun moves over your ascendant can be a little bit stressful and internal, especially for very outwardly focused and busy, highly communicative Gemini energies. So it can bring up fears, it can bring up discomfort, it can bring up issues with addictions, it can bring up insomnia. Some people will sleep like a dream and have lucid dreams and spiritual breakthroughs with this energy, and some people will be really stressed and afraid and more mentally chattery than usual, and also could create insomnia. So what this period of time represents in the course of our evolution is bringing up the things that we don't want, bringing up the things that are blocking us from the things that we do want, so that we can see them very clearly, so that we can take action on making those things not be factors anymore, or using tools to convert them into raw fuel for authentic inner and outer movements. Okay, so what that means is by the time the sun gets to your sun, which is your birthday, or crosses over your ascendant if it's your rising sign, you'll want to have more clarity about what you want, because there's so much good energy around making wishes, making vision boards, making things that help you create the life of your dreams at that time. So this time before that is showing you how you can best use that energy. Sometimes it shows you the things you don't want in order to be able to more clearly see the things that you do want. So there's strong focus there, spiritual breakthroughs, anything involving sleep, lucid dreaming, psychological pursuits. There's a lot of energy in your 11th house, which also has to do with the creation of teams, leading of groups, being part of a group, humanitarian efforts. It could be internet-based things. There's also a lot of energy in this 9th house, and that's more for you early degree placements and coming later for you middle and later degree placements. But the 9th house has to do with the international business and writing and teaching and publishing. Also spiritual pursuits in churches and things like that. There's this long-term energy that is working to solidify and enhance your relationships. So the more that you can work with people in close relationship, the more it can enhance the work you're doing out into the world. There's also some really great energy around deep study of astrology, numerology, mysteries in general, mystery schools, psychic development, anything psychologically based. I see people who are researchers, even in the realms of science, that have nothing to do with spirituality. I mean, going to say having nothing to do with spirituality, but every spirituality has everything to do with everything, to me, in my mind. But even people who think they're researching things that are purely scientific that have nothing to do with spirituality, that research process is very prominent now for Gemini. So you may find that you're getting on benders, wanting to go deep into something, deep into the study of something, deep into the teaching of something, deep into the exploration or experience of something. Tantric experiences, different kinds of sexual experiences, or studying the use of principles that have to do with intimacy. All of those things are being highlighted in your chart now. So there's a lot of energy that's very useful. There's things that are going to make you scattered. Gemini energy is all over the place. As these planets move more into Gemini, there's still some energy in Aries fueling it. We've got this Sag full moon that fuels your energy. There's a lot of energy available to you, and there's the impetus to use the energy for productive means, because as this Mars retrograde takes foot and dominates through August and then still takes until October to fade out, ambitions might start to wane. So knowing that ambitions are going to wane for most people means that you really want to take advantage of the extra boost of energy you have at this time. A lot of travel opportunities are likely. I love May in general for travel. Just be very extra cautious around the middle of the month, which I'll go into the details about that in the general report. So we'll go into all of that now. So the theme of the month for May 2018 for all signs is coming up for air. We have positioned nicely in the midst of this trend of personal planets being retrograde that started March 8th and runs through the middle of December. We've got this little period where we come up for air from the retrograde process. Also, we're coming up for air in this brief window between the eclipse cycles. So we have 3 eclipses in July and August, 2 in July, 1 in August. Starting in June, even towards the end of May, you might feel some of this. The eclipse changes, radical information coming in, news, trajectory shifts that could be unexpected or worked towards, but all of a sudden they come. So in this little pocket here in May, we're clear of the Mercury retrograde that preceded it. We're clear for a little while of the Mars retrograde that begins June 26th and runs through August 26th. The shadow period for Mars retrograde starts on May 11th. So May 4th through May 11th, we're completely clear of any personal planets retrograde. However, with every day that passes after May 11th, we're going to go deeper into that shadow period, and ambitions may tend to wane. That's one of the big factors of Mars retrograde, is that drive goes backwards. Okay, so people get more lazy, and you can sync your life with this transit. I do. I have Aries rising, so I'm very much connected to this Mars transit because Mars is an Aries ruler, but this will affect everybody. I plan for this period of time now as a relaxing, taking a break, so I go gung-ho all in the time before it, and I plan things for the time after it. But this sweet little spot is amazing for vacations, it's amazing for rest, it's amazing for staycations. So you can use this wisely, you just have to plan for it accordingly, okay? So if the lesson is, If you've got things you've got to push through anytime this year and you don't want to wait until December, try to do it in May. Okay, if you are a person with Mars retrograde in your chart, you might start to get zippy as everyone else starts to tone down. And if that's the case, good for you, but you will be in the minority. Something else going on in May that's ongoing from March into July is that Jupiter is in retrograde. So when Jupiter is in retrograde, this is a time to scale back efforts. And this is a beautiful combination of a lesson that Mars is also giving us. Because Mars, when it's in retrograde, one of the best ways to use it is to seek to do things in more efficient ways so that you do less work with greater outcomes. Jupiter retrograde tells us the same thing. So Jupiter, in its expanded forward motion, wants to make everything bigger and wider and more breadth, right? So when it's in retrograde, it looks for the places where you're spread too thin and it pulls them in, okay? So you have incentive to cut back, trim the fat, evaluate everything in your life to see where you're putting energy, where it's no longer useful and where it's no longer bringing energy back to you. Okay, so I'm going to go through my favorite aspects to watch for this month. You can get a written version of what I'm about to describe, as well as many more transits and details about them in my newsletter, my free newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. If you've already signed up for my newsletter and you're not getting newsletters, I send them regularly. So check in your spam, promotions, events, folder, social events folders, because sometimes mass emails go into those folders and you can transfer them from those folders into your inbox to give your email service the message that you want those emails. Okay, also something to know about what I'm about to describe is that I'm going to give you dates, but sometimes you feel these energies on days before or days after. So don't stick too heavily to the dates. Just use your intuition to tune into the flow to see when you're feeling something, because it could be before or after. Okay. On May 8th and then on May 23rd, the Sun in Taurus and then Mercury in Taurus is going to make an opposition to Jupiter in Scorpio. This can give a tendency to overdo. In some ways, you have permission to overdo this month because you really need to get as much done as you can while the energy is good for it. But do couple that with taking your vitamins, getting your rest, trying to balance that energy so you don't do too much. Also, with the things you're creating, make sure you're not spreading yourself too thin, because as the tides come in for the rest of the year, you don't want to overcommit. So just be very wary of overcommitting, overdoing, oversaying, and even overthinking. Okay, on May 11th, one of my favorite aspects of the month is the Sun in Taurus trining Pluto in Capricorn. This is an amazing aspect for getting things done. If you have to plan launch dates, anything like that, important things around this day are very powerfully supported. In the middle of the month, we have a series of aspects that are all piled on top of one another and are each intense in their own right. Okay, so look out for a lot of energy and events in the middle of the month. We've got the new moon in Taurus at 24 degrees of Taurus. That's time for your new moon wishes. You can check out my website. If you go to anniehelpsyou.com, click on blog, click on astrology. The maximizing new moon in Taurus power period is on there. Okay, so you want to maximize those wishes. You can see more about that on that blog. A very big event that's happening at this time is Uranus is moving into the sign of Taurus. This has been in the making for 7 years or so. It takes about 7 years for Uranus to move through a sign. The last time Uranus was in Taurus was between 1935 and 1942. I won't list some of the pretty crazy and intense world events that happened at that time, but most of you know what happened at that time. It was very transformative and eventful series of time. And so we are in for many changes, maybe not exactly the same kind of things, but a lot of change. Something that also happened that's lesser known during the periods of time of 1935 to 1942 that we are set for in the next coming 7 years was and now is a rapid increase in technological advancement, including going to things in outer space, space exploration, anything with technology, anything with forward movement and planning Also massive developments in mathematics, physics, any of the sciences and maths, medicine. There were major and technology of any kind. So there was massive expansion during that time. So we are set for this massive expansion. And it could be that you are part of this process. So if you have really good ideas, this is a period of time where you might create something that could be life-changing for yourself and other people. So definitely follow those nudges, because intuitive insight for advancement will be very much expanded during this transit. Okay, so we've got between the 15th and 16th, Mars in Aquarius, also squaring Uranus in this new placement of Taurus. So there could be, well, we've experienced this, like I said, the energy of Uranus and Taurus before, but we've also experienced this aspect of Mars in squaring Uranus before. So between May 12th and May 19th is when we really feel this aspect. The first May 10th is where it really might start. The second pass is going to be between July 28th and August 6th of 2018. And then the third and final aspect of this will be September 17th through 22nd of 2018. Okay, so this can bring solar flares and their natural counterparts, which are volatility and aggression, also drastic and dramatic weather changes and events. Uranus and Taurus can also bring those things. So if you are a person, well, I mean, really nobody is safe from these, these dramatic weather and climate events. But if you are in a situation where you're more prone to these problems, then just take extra caution, be extra aware, and follow your intuition. If something is telling you not to be in a certain place at a certain time, to sell somewhere, to buy somewhere, etc. Because these energies with these dates I just outlined will be flared, and then also this will be a theme getting stronger for the next 7 years. My next favorite date of the month is May 18th. The first was the 11th. The 18th has Mercury in Taurus making a trine to Saturn in Capricorn. So this is another great day, time, or period of time to get things done. You'll have to dance around these other energies that I just talked about, because they will be pretty intense and they may not be the best for trying to do important things, but you just have to tune into your intuition and follow the flow. Okay, so even though on May 18th, we will be in the Mars shadow period, if you're feeling froggy, jump. That's the lesson of this time. Anything that you feel really drawn to do in May, get it done, because ambitions are likely to wane. The second to last notable event that I want to talk about is on May 25th, and this is Jupiter in Scorpio trining Neptune in Pisces. So this is a lineup of heavy hitter outer planets. When we have outer planets that connect, it always spans a longer, the span of influence is longer than these other planets that are quicker moving. So we first experienced this in December 2017, and this is the second aspect. So this aspect can bring optimism and generosity. It can also bring major spiritual breakthroughs. I really love this aspect for combining idealism and material success. So we could say the lesson of this transit would be that financial success and spirituality can coincide. Okay, this is a big lesson for many people here doing healing work, is thinking that they can't be materially cared for or have material ambitions while also being spiritual. And so this transit is helping us to blend those two. On May 29th, we have the full moon in Sagittarius. Mercury also enters Gemini, so this is amazing for travel, expansion, communication. This whole month is amazing for travel. And with the full moon in Sag and the planets in Gemini, people are going to want to move. They're going to be really restless. So this is one of my favorite months for travel. You do have to watch out, especially at the middle of the month, for some things. Also, if you're a traveler and you're going to be traveling during May, definitely go to my new travel website, Astrology Kissed Travel Bliss, and check out my monthly astrology travel reports, because I go into more details about aspects that can be specifically related to travel. And also other inspiration and fun things there. Okay, so this last aspect on the 29th can bring anything with Sagittarius to drama or fruition. Okay, so publishing, teaching, learning, completing an education, getting ready to start an education because you've completed a certain phase in your life, writing, speaking, anything with religious or spiritual pursuits, churches, and like I said, travel. So many people will have a very blessed, wonderful travel opportunity, even if it's for short distance, could turn out to be for long distance around this period of time. So these are the things I have most on my mind for May 2018. I have a longer list of aspects to look out for when you sign up for my newsletter, AnnieHelpsYou.com. And I give them to you a month early. Also, if you'd like a written version of horoscopes, not necessarily talking about things that I talk about in your personal videos, then go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. That is my lifestyle website that is also kissed by astrology with these horoscopes. So I love to give you massive amounts of resources to work with these transits. Okay, so you've got the newsletter, Annie Helps You. You've got Astrology Kiss Travel Bliss for your travel reports and other travel information. You've got Cozy by Sweet Starlight for your horoscopes. And then also check out my blog on Mars Retrograde and my video on Mars Retrograde and my blog on how best to use the time when planets are in retrograde. And that's at AnnieHelpsYou.com. Okay, so if you would love to learn astrology with me, or you would love to be a coach as your profession, or you would love to bring your business online, check out my vocational school, Shine Your Brilliance University, at AnnieHelpsYou.com. If you'd love to have audio tracks that help to mitigate and enhance and utilize the transits of the time, my brilliant husband, B.R. Newman, creates these audio tracks, subliminal audio tracks that you can access for free on his website at iamhelios.com, IAMHELIOS.com. He also does readings. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.